Hi, I'm Rowan. I run and coordinate the GBC at Brickvention this year, 2017, and here's our layout. So starting down, we have the big tower. So this collects balls here. Would you like to pour some in? And it goes up. We have our little secret hidden couch in here, and some more classic Space Guys at the top. Over the top, the balls then go across our bridge. This lets us in and out of our table area too. We now have a down elevator here too that brings the balls down a bit slower. Previous years we've had a drop that falls all the way down, but that can be problematic, so this works a lot nicer. Rounding the loop, we've got a few smaller modules here. Yep, pour some in. We're running a bit low on balls at the moment. We're still finalising our testing. Some of these designs are copies off other people off the internet, and others are original. Sometimes we take an idea and just change it. This one here, which I've built, has gone through about 3 or 4 revisions until it's finally been reliable. The hard thing is getting them all lined up and getting them working at a good rate. So the ones that go too fast and the ones that go too slow and not too close together. Sometimes just adding your own colour design to a module can just bring it out. This next one here was by a first-time GBC builder. So this was his first time at copying someone else's. So not following any instructions, just reverse engineering what he's seen on a YouTube video. It's not perfect, but it's a really good start. We only had to make a few minor adjustments and it behaves itself pretty well. Other ones like this pusher module can clear balls very quickly. You never have to worry about some of these. We're lucky we have a little red ball here which you can kind of follow around. Sometimes you do get a little stuck ball here, but usually another ball will come along a little bit later on and knock it out of place, so that's not usually a big worry. Very prolific builder. We've got quite a few of his ideas as Akiyuki from Japan. Dylan, part of our Melbourne crew, built this one called Why Not? Sometimes it's fun to decorate the modules. So I've done a river scene here, following by a large mountain.
A member of the public has been referred by you. They can come speak, write your name down.
Here comes the red ball. Overly not super complex, but there's got a few little details in here. We've got Gandalf coming in out of his door at the bottom, down below. The ball's coming halfway through the mountain, and when a ball comes through, the horses and deer will pop open. We've got some coming through. Over the old rope bridge. Across the moving landscape. Sometimes it's just fun to incorporate an official Lego model, the Builder Buzz from a few years ago, just to modify him so his head looks around at the balls going past, as well as some very old themes, Fabuland, which a lot of people amazingly still recognise. It's great to have certain modules that are good at turning corners. We have obviously 4 corners on a layout we need to negotiate around. Some modules I think are a bit too quick for their own good and no one gets to see what they're actually doing, but it gets the balls through reliably, which is nice. It's like a brown uphill river. Some very detailed mountains here with friends and elves, and I wonder who built that. So GBC builders can be old and young. This type of mechanism is called a ball pump, so it has a stream of balls locked in here, and only when one comes in, the next one comes out. And then just to add a bit of length to the design, I added a simple roller coaster. Sometimes you have these odd colours and you think you'll never use them, and then away they come along and it'll be something good for this. This is another Akiyuki design called the zigzag lift. The balls slide back and forth. It's actually quite temperamental. We have to keep a close eye on it, but it's good fun when it works. Some more little spiral lifts. It's hard to know what to call some of the modules you make. People come up with ideas and they're just shown on the internet, and you modify them and think, well, what should I call this? A couple of simple conveyors, but well, nicely decorated. And it's always good when Lego introduce new parts, as the big yellow curved racks, which are from the new bucket wheel excavator. Rasika's turned these into a nice spinning wheel. Got some balls. Following here by a couple of modules by the Brooks family. This is their first time doing GBC, and they've done an amazing job. Been quite impressed with how well this has been working. I hope they've been happy with the results too. Yeah. Again, just a conveyor, but it shows you how much decoration and interest you can put into it, and even to having the downshoot almost looks like the fire coming out of the house. It's great to incorporate little Lego sets that other kids will recognise and see, oh, I've got that set. And of course, when you have an excess of pink and fuchsia, why not make a GBC? Another conveyor. This is called a pinball module, where it just bounces down on the pins, giving you a bit of a random path down the lift. Some simple mechanisms that just lift balls up and down. These are separate modules, but they're currently chained together, and they're a little bit flexible in how we can position them. So there's a universal joint between each one, allowing us just to adjust it as need be. You can go around corners or in a straight line. Even though it's a simple module, I've had a lot of people fascinated by this one. They just stare at it and can't believe how it works, and it's really one of the more simple ones. Good old bridge to get over a gap. Okay, back onto another little module here. This one by a prolific builder from the Netherlands, I believe. He's called Mako Arts. He's built hundreds of models, GBC mocks, and yeah, a lot of them, the designs are really simple. They're quite interesting to watch. This one's made mostly of axles, so when you've got a whole box full of axles left over, why not make something like this? Occasionally it leaves a ball in there, but that's okay. Here comes some more. Owen here has built this collection of 5 modules all chained together, so they all run off a single motor. Various different mechanisms here. A good module is one that can cope with up to 30 balls at once, but then only deal with them and not choke and not overflow balls, and then output it generally 1 ball per second. Not everyone goes to the standard. We have a little ball counter here with a Riz brick. We are up to 1146 balls, so that's good to see. Tips over every time a ball goes past a little good old-fashioned touch sensor. Nearly 20-year-old Lego technology, but we're still using it today, a bit like some of the 20, 30, 40-year-old Lego bricks that are probably in here somewhere. This one here waits until there's 5 balls at once, and then it will release all 5 at once, so they're good to put little buffers and stalls between it. This is a very common and nice, easy to build, good starter module called the Brick World module. Often they get a lot of kids and other people to all build one each and bring it along. Uses a lot of common parts, not particularly complicated to build. Up and over module by Owen here, which is a conveyor, but it goes back over an arch. So at one point he should be able to scale this up quite large, maybe over a complete walkway. One day we hope to see it. This one here was a favourite to build. It popped out only about a year or so ago by a Swedish builder called Torso. It's a mechanism called the cardan lift, so he didn't invent the mechanism, but he definitely did all the gearing on it. And just to have so many of these 40-tooth gears that happen to spill, it normally never spills. But of course, while we're filming, there we go. Look at that. This thing can run for half an hour, and the only one time we do it, but that's Lego for you and GBC. But it's definitely a fun module to build. It was nice and easy, and as long as you've got the gears. And generally is only needed a bit of tweaking. A few of these were built by kids of a family. Added their own touches and colour and fences. A lot of us GBC builders, often love using things that have used in the past Lego sports sets. So the curved arches are really good, and they're getting harder and harder to get hold of, which is a shame, but maybe one day they'll release it again. Another Brick World module and another nice slow conveyor belt. This still probably meets the standard simply because although it's meant to be 1 ball per second, if you can do 4 or 5 at once, you still meet that. This next one is a new one this year, the water wheel. And I haven't been down this end of the table too much, which means it's been working quite well, I think. Flips up and over and through the hole. And the next one called Jack and the Beanstalk. Incorporates a lot of Duplo bricks, which a lot of Lego builders do, not just GBC and other places, just to get a lot of height very quickly and cheaply. And the great use of the slides. And I believe the leaves on there actually do hold the balls in and stop them bouncing out, so they're essential to the design. This is one of the latest and greatest creations by Japanese builder Akiyuki. This is called the strain wave gear, and it's an amazing mechanism that seems to hold itself together quite well. It's ultimately an oval with a floppy set of teeth around the outside. And as it forms the shape, it just produces this interesting wave effect. And here we're starting again at the official Lego set, the Bucket Wheel Excavator that came out in 2016. It's a monster, the biggest Technic set they've ever made, and of course everyone took one look and said, oh, this will make a great ball contraption. And it's not bad, but there's been a few modifications needed to do to get it to really work well. But it's been behaving itself mostly. Not overly complicated, being just a couple of conveyor belts. This is the truck dumper that I built for last year's Brickvention, and it sat on the shelf for a whole year and generally still working. Oh, that's a big load. The truck goes down, which is a standard Lego set that came out a few years ago. Heavily modified now. Oh, a bit too heavy for it. It'll get on the next round. The next set of few tables, we've got mostly the Akiyuki designs. So the Archimedes screw here, which takes the balls from the bottom and then actually works backwards before scooping the balls around again. Here we go. These are great modules because they can just cope with a ton of balls and you don't have to worry about them jamming or overflowing or anything like that. Although that one has got maybe a little bit too much. Frozen theme one with a little stepper module at the back. And leading up into a nice elevator, which I'd love to see this one go maybe 2 or 3 metres high. Be quite impressive to see. Or maybe someone else will build it. Archimedes does tell everyone though to copy his designs and then go from there and build them. That's his mantra, which is a really good starting point. He loves it when people do copy and build his designs, and he says it's a great way to learn how other people build and then to get your own ideas.
I can definitely agree to that state there.
The next one's a great one of his called the Invisible Lift, and having nice transparent antennas in there, it really does look like the balls are just going up by themselves. An amazingly complex mechanism on both sides just to do a seemingly simple task. But like a lot of these ones, the timing has to be quite right. So there's a lot of gearing and levers which just do the timing just right, and sometimes they can take quite a while, even after you've built them, just to get the timing spot on. But over the last year or so, there's been quite a few builders, very popular on the Eurobricks forums, who get together and have been working out how these work. Akiyuki typically doesn't do many instructions himself, so it's up to a lot of people in the community to sit and watch the videos over and over and just figure it out. As a result, some of them have reverse engineered them, have made instructions, and here we go. Everyone has got a chance at making some of these amazing contraptions. This one here is called Cup to Cup. It uses crazy overpriced chrome dishes. This one has really got one moving part. It's quite simple, just having this main central core with little cheese wedges on it that just push the balls up step by step.
They go around in a spiral shape.
This is the fork module coming up, built in yellow, and that's great at handling quite a few balls too, picking them up and just handling them over again. And the last couple, I think we've almost got one. We've still got one in trial and fixing mode, but this is grab and lift, catch and release, and followed lastly here by a pinball module. Very simple conveyor, but it's fun to watch, and if it gets it in the hole in the top, then comes out the bottom. On this one, the sides. And we're back at the start, so I hope you enjoyed our Great Ball Contraption layout, and it's been good. We've been collaborating between 3 different states, Melbourne, Canberra and up in Sydney, and we've got around 70 modules here working, so I think we've come close to hitting the Australian record.